Sorry about that. The mic went muted. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all here on this Monday evening of this incredible time that we are at in human history. And I am looking forward to having a conversation with you tonight and discussing some of the things that I'm seeing that I've seen over the weekend, some of the comms that are happening that are really making me really glad to be, how should I say, where I am in this revolution, and where I find my followers, Snedheads, patriots, people that have been following me for quite some time. So I want to get right into it and talk to you a little bit about the bigger picture, and so we can go right into that. And and I welcome your comments throughout the evening. Let me see who got in first tonight. Let me see. Looks like Jay Aqua. Hello, Sneds fam from Michigan. Good to see you, Jay. Southern Bell, good blessed evening, Dave, Hawk, everyone. Good to see you. Good evening, Renz. Had a feeling you'd be on, LOL. Lamorin, greetings, Dave, and beautiful Sneds. Thank you, dear. Hi, guys. I'll be listening. TJ Katz, very cool. Hey, everybody, Garrett. Georgia Papas, good evening, everyone. Hi, Southern Bell, Dave, Hawk, good to see you. Georgia, Lacey Bounds. Hey, Sneds from Mississippi. Lacey, it's been a minute. What's happening? Viola, good to see you. Parisian, good evening. Dave and amazing people. Viking King, howdy all. Good to see you, King. Lisa Lindbergh, hello, everyone. Dawn, hope the bad back brothers are doing better. Yeah, both Hawk and I are dealing with some back issues, unfortunately, my friends. And I think Hawk's is a little worse than mine. But we're both it's both a little debilitating. So I may be doing a little standing and sitting tonight. And hopefully I won't have to lay down like I did the last show with Oliver. But thank you for that. Let me see. Hey, peeps, Benjamin, good to see you. April Fools, hi, David. Was up from sunny OKC. RJ Minnick, Southern Bell, good to see you. Nita Bells, hi, Dave. Hello, Dave and Sneds. Ken Heiner, thank you. Gene, good to see you. Hello, Seeds, Hawk, and Sneds. Dave, thank you. Thank you all for that. And so, my friends, Maggie, hello, my dear. And that's me. That's me shouting out, what's up, everybody? Roy, Louisiana Sned's head in the theater. Good evening, friends. Good evening, my friend. All right, my friends, let's get into it. So I went on a Spaces today. I kind of happened upon it, but I've been in that space before with Patriot Storm, and also Rachel, who credits me with waking her up, and she was a co-host of this Spaces, and I want to give you. I want to give you, it's AKA Rocky 7, AKA Rocky 7. If you would give her a follow. And so, but I went on this Spaces, and it's what's very unique in the Spaces is that anybody can come up and speak, and the hosts will bring people up. The problem with the Spaces that I find is it's kind of there's even though you're going to get some OGs on there, like Rubber Duck was on, an OG Anon, and Patriot Storm is very dialed into the drops, and some others. there's a lot of people that speak up and maybe ask questions that don't know much about Q or don't know much about anything at all. And I just want to speak for a moment to this paradigm that we find ourselves in quite often, that doesn't really serve us. And I want to get into that a little bit. We're almost at 300 on Rumble. Please share this out. 473 across the other platforms. I'd like to get up over 1,000 before I really kick it into gear here. And especially with this message, because I think it's very, very, very important. Aloha. Hi, Dave. My husband is from Coshocton, Ohio. I love your show. Wow. Fantastic. What's his name? Do I know him? Does he know me? My sister just went to her high school reunion there this past weekend. And I was supposed to be there, but because we had just a private memorial for my brother because his headstone was finished. But I just couldn't get there. And but you know, it is what it is. But this is but thank you for mentioning that. That brings back good memories. So, Diane Parks, hello, Dave. Hello, Snedheads. I'm glad you're doing shows more often lately. It's a crazy world out there, and our home bases are really important right now. Much love to you all. Yes, thank you for that. And it is important to have a home base, and I'm glad you're all here. And I'm really looking for, hi, Dina. I'm really glad that you're all here. Hello, Mr. Sciatica. Welcome. So, my friends, this we are at about coming up on 900 beautiful folks. Let me just wait a moment, folks. If you want to support this Truthcast, please find ways to do so. This is a new paradigm that we are entering, and it really is important to find the people that you trust, find the people that are leading you in positive directions, and not selling you a bunch of hopium, not selling you dates and forecasts and things that that don't come true. This is something I've been doing, trying to wake people up ever since I awakened 18 years ago, and this is something that I've committed my life to. And $1, $2, $5 from you goes a long way towards me being able to come to you more often, bring you better content, and than you're seeing out there in the world. And so I welcome your contribution. Tip your waiter. You know, this is an important time in human history, and it's an important time to acknowledge those that are strengthening this fight and strengthening our resolve rather than those who are weakening it. So, without further ado, my friends, we are now up just under 1,000 beautiful souls in the Sned Shed. Welcome, one and all. I want to start by saying, let's check our coat. If you are new here, welcome. Please let us know. There's some beautiful people that would love to say hello to you and welcome you. You can find me at DavidSnedeker on X and The Indoctrination on Rumble. You can also find other aspects of my offerings to you on DavidSnedeker.com. So we're going to check our coats. We're imagining coming in out of the cold. We got a big heavy coat on, and we're just imagining all of our preconceived notions, unconscious bias, our ego, all the indoctrination that's been dumped upon us. Imagine that wrapped up in this big heavy coat. We're coming into the warm Sned Shed. We're going to take off our coat, check the coat at the coat check, and grab your claim ticket, grab a snack, grab your favorite drink, your favorite pet, your favorite you, your favorite person, And come on in. Let's have a nice evening together. Let's download some information. I want to get through things fairly quickly tonight because of because of my back, but also because of the nature of what we're entering into on this Monday evening of this day. RJ Minnick is now a monthly supporter on my channel on Rumble. Thank you, RJ Minnick, for that and for that Rumble rant. Folks, you can become a monthly supporter over there. That makes a huge difference. When you do the dollar sign, right here, down here at the lower left, when you hit this, and then you can subscribe, and then you could do somewhere down here. You can do, I think you can do I don't know how to do it for a monthly, but you can subscribe to monthly and do that. And so thank you for that. That makes a huge difference for me, even just a few dollars coming from you all. I'd like to thank Lisa Savoya for your donation tonight. And that's Lamorin, L.A. Morin. Thank you very much for that. And Gene, thank you for for your donation as well. Much appreciated. So let me get into this. So what's happening right now is that we are seeing, wow, just the comms that are coming across on a large scale, on a rapid scale, are making it so obvious to me that we are getting very, very close to seeing the kind of justice that we've been hoping for, praying for, and, quite honestly, patiently, as best we can, waiting for. I want to get into a few of those, but before I get into a few of those, I want to get back to the spaces comment that I had. By the way, my puppy is barking at the deer who are outside feeding. So just know that some of your donations go towards feeding that little puppy, who is pretty awesome. Jasper, he's amazing. And the deer. I feed some of the deer, and so give them some good stuff so they'll grow strong. And we got some babies out there too. So my friends, I was on the spaces, and there were some very knowledgeable people, and then there were some people that were fairly new or fairly awake, or don't believe in Q or what have you. But folks, there's something that needs to be said here, is that this is a time in human history where anybody can speak. Anybody can get a microphone. You get a microphone inexpensively. You can use the microphone that's on your laptop. You can use the camera that's on your laptop. You can get on Rumble for $0. You can get on YouTube. You can get on all these channels. You don't have to spend a dime, and you can get your voice heard. You can get your word out there. The question is, should you? And the question is, do you have something to offer humanity? And sometimes people will come on with questions, and I welcome those questions. I think that we as a civilization have lost the mentor-mentee relationship that is has been so absolutely imperative in our human history as we grow, as we get better at things, and it's the farmers that have done amazing things to the food to make them better. It's the scientists that have done terrible things to the food to make them worse. It's the manufacturers, the people that are working with steel and with metals that have made mechanical engines and mechanical parts that last for decades and decades. And now they've discovered the rule of planned obsolescence, and now things are made very, very poorly. And so we've come so far in our human history. Hold on one second. We've come so far in our human history, and yet now it seems in so many ways that we're going backwards. And so this is the reason I'm saying this is because as information becomes more and more and more apparent, that is coming at us like fire hoses. It's not it's important to not listen to people that haven't earned your ears, that haven't earned the respect of your time. And what we're seeing is that the people that are in the mainstream media and the people that are even in the alternative media that have shown their true colors, we have learned who we should be, who we should trust and who we should not. And for those of you who trust me, I thank you for that, and I hope to honor that in everything that I do. And I do that is what I do. Is my work is to honor those who put their faith in me, but also challenge what I say here. Don't hand your mind over to me. Do your own homework as well, and that's what I've always been a proponent of. So it's not about that we should be listening to anybody that puts their hand up. It's that we should be listening to the people that have earned our time and our efforts and our attention. And I think more than ever in this time in human history, that time and that attention should be held very carefully and should be honored by those who are getting that time. Now, some of you may feel like, well, I need that in quicker doses. I need it in shorter doses. I'm going to do some of that, but it's not really my gig. My gig is more about having a conversation, providing a space where you can come and talk to others and hear some truth, and also be able to interact and but more importantly, just have a haven where you can go and know that the information you're getting is solid and is backed up with receipts and has a history, a long track record of 5.5 years and even longer for being awake. These are the people, the veterans. This is the fourth quarter. We should be listening to the veterans in this movement. And I'm not talking about the veterans that have made the most money. I'm not talking about the veterans that have the most viewers. I'm talking about the veterans that have the self-esteem that they don't need to pretend that they are somebody else, and they don't need to pretend that they have something that they don't. And that has been a huge detriment to this great awakening. And there are so many people in this great awakening that have turned into opportunists, and it's obvious to us that it's not about the mission, it's not about the truth, it's about the dollar, it's about the viewers, it's about even mainstream guys have come over to the alternative space and taken hold. But I don't know if they are to be trusted. Most of them are not. So that's up for you to discern. But I would offer to you that Q told us, be careful who you follow. Beware those who profit from this movement. No outside comms, and operators never divulge. Okay. Any of the people you're listening to betray that. Okay. And by the way, offering links to donations is not profiting from this movement. forcing you to pay for this information, that's profiting from this movement. Giving you bad information and selling you, gold and silver based on fear, selling you things that are taking money out of your 401k. That absolutely is not okay, and that is the kind of thing where people are profiting from this movement. But we're not going back into communism. So support those that you believe are providing you with real value. And thank you, Linda Presnick, for your donation. Much appreciated, folks. More than you know. So, all right, my friends. So from that standpoint, the 40,000 square, 40,000 foot view, if you will, of this movement and this place we are in human history right now, is that it really this awareness, this awakening really has to come from within, because we have to stop being spoon fed. And what I shared today on the spaces is that when Q started this, it was from the Socratic method of teaching, asking questions. And the autists and the anons, we took these questions, we went out and we researched and came back with the information. The Q movement started, it awakened the minds of some of the best and the brightest, excuse me. It awakened the minds from the best and the brightest. And that's why Q went to 4chan, where all the autists were and a lot of the anons ended up. And so, but it sparked a revolution because Q was telling us things that we had never heard before from some supposedly somebody that could extract justice from the people that were involved. So it was very exciting for a lot of us. But what's important to understand is that the relationship that we all had with Q, and still have to this day, is that Q asks the questions or makes the links or makes the connections, and then we have to go find the answers ourselves. Don't ask to be spoon fed, because eventually somebody who does not have your best interest at heart is going to grab a spoon and start feeding you something that is not in your best interest. We have to learn to fish. We have to learn to feed ourselves. And that is what I have always attempted to do here on the indoctrination. And I welcome you to engage your brain, engage your questions, and engage your discernment, because now is a time when we should not be listening to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's got a microphone or putting up a video, but make sure that we're listening to people that are giving us well thought out points that are digging into something deeply that we have not yet dug into, that we can check and we can verify, and we all can do this, and we can all absolutely improve our entire world just by being discerning about who we're listening to. Thank you, Anna Clark. Much appreciated for your donation and buffering. Thank you so much. So my friends, so the 40,000 foot view, let me take you to a few things just from today, very recently, that I think you're really going to be impressed about, or be blown away about. Not impressed with me or anything, but just impressed that they're giving us this kind of communication that we're getting right now. It's very powerful. Joe Biden spoke today, and I'll just play a few moments of him, and see what we can get out of this. But let me just play a few moments of him, and oh my gosh, hold on. Oh, I see. Okay, I got to do that over here. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go.
But guess what? It got me engaged. I love how reading these biographies of me now that I knew I was going to run for president.
It's awful.
I remember walking in to the public defender's office, which was part-time at the time, and asking for an application because I wanted to join the public defender's office. And he looked at me, his name is Franny Kearns, he said, "Don't you work for Pickett Warburton Sanders?" I said, "Yeah." So why the hell would you want to do this? Not a joke. But I said, let me do it. I became a public defender. Folks, here's the deal. Because I got engaged like a lot of you do, whether you run for office or not. You get engaged and you want to change things. So I kept trying to change the Democratic Party in my state, which is very conservative. And then a group of people came to me, as my senator knows, Chris Coons, came to me and said, "Look, we want you to run for state senate." I said, I can't go to Dover all the time. I'm just starting a law firm. I'm a part-time public defender. And then they came back to me and said, "Why don't you run for the county council?" I said, I can't. They said, "You stupid SOB, it's right across the street there." I'm serious. Meets only twice a week. So my sister, my best friend, managed my campaign. And we picked a district that we couldn't possibly win. No Democrat had ever won. But my problem was I had my sister doing my campaign. And we won. Next thing I know, I was part of a group assigned as young senators, young elected officials, to try to bring the party around to get someone to run for the United States Senate. And I was put on a commission. When you're the young lawyer, you get to turn the lights on and off after every meeting. And so I remember going down to the Democratic convention off year in Dover, Delaware. And after the afternoon session, went back and I was in my room. There's a nice motel you just drive up to, get out, walk in your door there. And you know, an 8x10 bathroom, a shower, and a stall. And I had my towel around me and the shaving cream on my face, and they were bam, bam, bam at my door. And I thought it was the guys that came down with. The guy was had a talk show named Bob Cunningham, was a big civil rights guy, and two others. So I thought it was them. I opened the door. There was a former governor, former Supreme Court justice, swear to God, the state chairman, and the former congressman. And they said, "We just had dinner." I said, "I'm sorry, gentlemen." And I walked in and I ran to the bathroom, shake the shave grip, thinking I could put something on there with nothing here. I walked back out with a towel. I'm standing against a nail, a desk nail to the wall, and they're on the beds that are nailed to the headboards are nailed to the wall. Four of them sitting across. I said, "Joe, we were thinking you should run for the United States Senate." I said, "Gentlemen, are you serious?" And they went on and made their case. I hope all of you had a professor as enlightened as mine. I had one professor named Dr. Ingersoll, my political philosophy professor at the University of Delaware, which is between Dover and where I was going.
Dr. Ingersoll.
So I called him. I think I stopped by and see him.
Okay, I want you to.
And I said, "What do you think I should?"
We got to hear
They
this.
went on and made their case. I hope all of you had a professor as enlightened as mine. I had one professor named Dr. Ingersoll, my political philosophy professor at the University of Delaware, which is between Dover and where I was going home. So I called him. I think I stopped by and see him. And I said, "What do you think I should do?" He said, "Joe, remember what Plato said." I'm thinking, what the hell did Plato say? Seriously. So Plato said, "The penalty good people pay for not being involved in politics is being governed by people worse than themselves." And home, I spoke to my deceased wife. She said, "Look, Joe, you're working 40 hours a week trying to set up a law firm, and you're working 40 hours a week as a public defender. Get in or get out." Next thing you know, I was running. We won Nixon won my state by 60% of the vote. We won by a staggering 3,800 votes.
Okay, so I wanted to give you a little bit of Brandon, because it's obvious how, mentally challenged he is and how slow he is and so forth. But my friends, there's one thing that we know for sure about these people that are speaking, that are in the public eye, that Q has talked about, at length. And that is that they are very aware of Q. They are very aware of Trump. They are very aware of John Trump. They are very aware of Tesla. They're very aware of Ingersoll Lockwood. Of all of his, now this guy was really, David Ingersoll, was actually a professor. He died in 2016, February 15th, in Sonoma, California. But David Ingersoll, he was the professor of Department of Political Science and International Relations from 1974 to 79. Named full professor in 1987. When was Joe there? When was Joe at the was Joe Biden at University of Delaware? And let's see. He received a degree in political science and history in 19. Let's see. Was it six? When was it? 1965. And then he received a Juris Doctor degree from law school at Syracuse in 68. So in 65, he was already graduated. Okay. This guy got his doctorate from Claremont Graduate School in 1964, and then he joined the University of Delaware faculty. So that all checks out. Okay. But sharing this story about, basically about, Ingersoll, this guy Ingersoll, is to me a very, very telling calm by the White Hats. Okay. Now let me get in a little bit deeper. By the way, I have not put this out on Truth or on Telegram. So if you wouldn't mind, please share this out amongst yourselves and amongst your friends. And I'm going to get into something very soon here that I think is going to knock your socks off more than once. And so good thing you've got two pair on. And where's my Rumble? Let me find my Rumble account. My content, folks, we are live on Rumble, and let me just do this. And we are 546 live on Rumble. And let me just put that on Truth and on, let's see. Okay. And I'll put it over on Telegram as well. And so this is not by accident. And I hope you understand that, because it's just, Q has this thing, how many coincidences before mathematically impossible? And we know the answer to that is literally somewhere in the ballpark of between 2 and 3 coincidences make it mathematically impossible. So when you see the sheer number of coincidences that we are experiencing between the Q drops, between Ingersoll Lockwood, et cetera. Okay. So I'm going to take you to Ingersoll here in a moment. But before I do, I want to take you to the following. Okay. And I'm going to walk through it with you. All right. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, so let me do this. Let me go to here. I can do this one here. Okay. All right. So let me go to X. Okay, I'm going to take you to X. Now, what I said was in the X, I said there are many proofs. Let me come to you here before I do this. What I said in the X Spaces today, that there are many proofs of Q, and also that Q has never been more active than they are right now. Q is a group of people, 9 or less people, 3 civilian, the rest military. They have the highest security clearance across uh, all different organizations within the military and within the U.S. government. And there have been multiple Q predictions, but only one date given, one date ever given, and that was 0 and 1, the first 2 drops, and it was about Hillary Clinton and her arrest and her extradition. And so this is so what's really important to understand is that when we're looking at these coincidences and these comms that are being given to us, that we understand that we are being spoken to in a very cryptic way because they know that the black hats are paying attention to this as well. Now, let me show you number 0. Okay, was by anonymous. Q did not start using Q until 61, drop 61. Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m., 8:30 a.m. EST on Monday, the morning of October 30th, 2017. The response, and this all came out, is the first drop. HRC extradition already in motion effective yesterday with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. Marines will conduct the operation while National Guard activated. Proof check, located National Guard member and ask if activated for duty 10:30 across most major cities. Now, pretty specific date, pretty specific actions. And I will tell you this, the specificity of these 2 posts sparked this revolution, because there were many of us that knew Hillary was bad news, knew Bill was bad news, knew this deep state, knew their body count before they even took office in, when Bill became president. And so when the people that were awake saw this information coming out, we were like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. This looks like it's going to happen, because Q followed this up with multiple comms about people that we knew were bad players, and they were going to go down as well. Okay. So the reason I set the stage for this is because Q only gave us one date, and that was this at the very beginning. That was the only date that Q ever gave us. I want to say that again. This is the only date out of 4,966 drops. The only time that changed was when Ingersoll Lockwood came onto the picture and gave me those predictions to the date that were spot on. There were 3 dates that Q gave me through Ingersoll Lockwood, and I shared those with you, and I was spot on every single time, all 3 times. And they were predictions days and even months ahead of time. Okay. And I've got videos on those. You can see that. But what I want to be clear about is that Hillary Clinton knows about Q. Huma Abedin knows about Q. The deep state knows about Q, better than maybe most of the people that are waking up, because you have to know your enemy, and they understand that Q is the enemy, and that's why the mainstream media has tried to keep Q down and tried to discredit Q in the way that it has. Now, let me do this. Let me tell you about today on the spaces. So what I was saying was one of the proofs about that Hillary is not in charge of her Twitter accounts is because of the sheer amount of times that she will post a tweet and it will go directly, the timestamp will go directly into the drops and have very damning evidence against her, or certainly verbiage against her. The Clinton Foundation, Haiti, human trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. The same with Abadan. So long ago, when Todd and I were going down these dives, we figured out that there is no way in hell that Hillary is tweeting her own tweets, because if she did, her handlers, her assistants, whoever's helping her with her social media, are going to say, hey, hold off on that tweet one more minute, because if we do, it'll go, the timestamp will take anybody looking into a drop that has no relation to you whatsoever. They would do that time and time and time again. Okay. Now, yes. Marta, 4966 drops, only one date. We thought 11-4, 11-3, 11-4, 11-6 were dates, and we don't believe that to be the case anymore. We think it's Law of War Manual, or the what is it? The CFR. I'm forgetting the letters for that. It'll come to me. Slow Country, if you're in the house, please let us know. Yes, and it is a military operation. Nisi, I missed you speaking in Spaces days. Dave, you had left. Yeah, after I dropped the Hillary thing, I couldn't hear anymore, and so I had to bail out. So when I said this about Hillary and Huma tweeting, Patriot Storm said, hey, do you have, an example of that, or some examples of that? And I said, oh my gosh, well, there's so many, I won't look now, but, when I give up the mic and somebody else starts speaking, I'll go and try to find one. So this is what I did. So I finished talking. There were, a couple of people that stepped up and wanted to talk. And so what I did was I went to my ex, okay, and I typed in at Hillary Clinton, okay, and I went to her pinned tweet, and I thought, wow, wouldn't that be something if the tweet that she has pinned at the top is significant. July 23rd, so this has been pinned probably for a week now. We've added 10 more cities to my book tour this fall. I'm excited so many of you want to come out and join these conversations about something lost, something gained. More info at hillaryclintonlive.com. And it gives her dates and her locations where she's going to be. If you want to take a screenshot of that, folks, so you don't miss that opportunity. Yeah, right. So this is her doing her book tour. Now, interesting that there are some book tour references in Q, but we're not going to go there now. What I'm going to do is show you that the timestamp here says 9:01. Now I'm Central Time. All of our timestamps are Eastern, Central, and or military time. Okay. So I got to go into the drop, and then I have to type in basically 10:01, right? I was just at 01. Now we're going to go to 10:01, and we're going to see what 10:01 comes up with. And wouldn't you know it, folks? Epstein Island. Let me go small on this. Epstein Island. Okay. Well, maybe it's just Epstein Island. It's not directly related to Hillary. Okay. Well, let's take a look. Where do roads lead? Each prince is associated with a cardinal direction: north, south, east, and west. Sacrifice. What's going on in those places? Child sacrifice. Collect. You got to collect the children. Classified in kill brackets 1, classified 2. Tunnels. We know there are tunnels underneath. Table 29 specifically. D room H, D room R, D room C. Pure evil, conspiracy. Q, in quotes. HRC is spelled out here, and the very room and the very table that she sacrificed children. Because we've seen Rachel Chandler's posts on Instagram. We've seen the pictures of the tunnels in Epstein Island. We've seen the rooms. We've seen the tables. This, my friends, is going to be up until the fall. She's not doing her first date until September 16th. This pinned tweet for the next however many months is going to direct everybody to Epstein Island and her specific crimes there. 187 Site E, JPEG. Why do they call it 187? Well, 187 is code for killing. They're sacrificing, they're killing people at these sites. Okay? These are the sacrifices. This is where they get their Monsters Inc. on. Okay? This is where they derive all of this power. Okay? And so I was able to come back on the spaces and drop this proof of what I was saying earlier in the day. Nice dog, Dave, Mr. Sciatica. I think you mean dig. But it's a dog com because it's talking about killing people. Yes, the adrenochrome. So, so my friends, do you see the significance of these things? Do you understand that this is not just she just put that tweet up there willy-nilly, and it just so happens to point to her crimes against humanity, which, you know, Trump already took care of with his executive orders, and by the way, have been renewed under the Biden residency. Okay. All right. Now, let's go back to Edward. Thank you for sharing out, my friend. Much appreciated, folks. Please share this out. Even if you tell people, just watch the first, like maybe let me get in the room 10 minutes in, and then watch the next, tell them to watch the next 20 minutes. Okay. And if they're not hooked, if they don't get this information, then they won't. But this is an opportunity. You know, it's hard. I understand it's hard to share my shows because we are so long. I go for long periods of time, right? Ernest, it's why we need you, Dave, to walk us through these treacherous waters. Thank you, Ernest. I appreciate that. It's glad you're on. Thank you, Anna Marie. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Yeah, that's not HRC posting, but the what I'm saying is that not only is it not her posting, because, you know, people like that, they have social media people that are going to put that stuff up. But what I'm telling you is there's nobody on her side posting. that's clear because they should be fired immediately because they're all very aware of Q. So they're not going to post timestamps that lead to things like that. So it's not some intern just making a mistake. Exactly. It's the white hats are doing this. Absolutely, Sonia. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying here. Okay. Um, and and so this is so important for us to get that we are being communicated to by the people that are taking down this cabal. Okay. Now I want to get to Ingersoll Lockwood now. Okay. Um, as you saw, this is there's a new Ingersoll Lockwood um, image today. Okay. But I want to take you with me again. I'll take you, excuse me, to Ingersoll Lockwood. Excuse me. I'm going to have to do it here, aren't I? Yeah, I'm going to have to do it on the, okay. Uh, again, Biden. Okay.
Mine. I had one professor named Dr. Ingersoll, my political philosophy professor at the University of Delaware, which is between.
Dr. Ingersoll. Dr. Ingersoll. What a, what are the odds, folks? What are the odds? What are the odds? So let me take you here. Let me take you to Ingersoll Lockwood. And let me go, as you know, you go up here. If you're using Brave or you're using Chrome or whatever you're using, you can go to extensions. You can add extensions. And I have dark mode on extension. When you do dark mode, when you go scroll down on Ingersoll, you can see the things that stand out that you can click on and it'll take you to a hyperlink. Okay. Let me take you to 35. Okay. This is 35. Okay. This is a rabbit, a white rabbit. Okay. Which is a common theme amongst Ingersoll. And we see a clock. The clock is winding down. The rabbit looks like he's ready to pounce or ready to move. He's in ready position. The American flag, parts of it waving behind. Okay. Let me make that a little bit bigger for you. Sorry about that. And well, you also see that I have it in my backdrop as well. And so you have this what seems to be about 11:11 possibly, right? Or 11:10. But we'll look at both of those with about 21 seconds. Okay. Um, and it's very and the clock doesn't say anything. It's kind of it's kind of mumbled, right? Almost as if it's kind of this AI vibe, right? And then there's also kind of a watch face of some sorts down here, but we can't really make this out. But it's obviously a pocket watch, and it's a gold pocket watch. This gentleman is got gold buttons on and a gold vest, um, and um, and is on kind of a kind of a royal stool of sorts. And so not a lot, not a lot here, but and you don't always get it in the picture itself. But what I don't think you can see right now is that there's a number 3547 in the address bar. And as you know, I have found a gold in the address bars. I found the prediction for the disease with the, the platform, but the disease, that X there, I was able to find the date that Tedros was going to talk about it at WHO at Davos, and I told you about that before it happened. And then the date, the March 31st, when it jumped from the cow to the human, and that was specific in the address bar. And so we pay attention to the address bar. Nisi, you said the lid of the pocket watch, Dave. Yeah. I didn't see anything there. Did you see anything there? I'll take another look at it there. But and so let me show you what came up on that, which is 3547. Now, most of you know, excuse me, most of you know that, excuse me. Cheers, everybody. So we go into the Q drops, right? And we go to 3547. But what's important to understand is a lot of the songs that we've been seeing and hearing on Ingersoll Lockwood have to do with, I'll give you an example. Let me take you there. DJT here.
Who's in the swamp now? Messy and wild. Who runs the show now? It's all so defiled. We need a hero, strong and so bold. Time to rise now, break the mold. This is our last chance. Oh, America, only Trump can save us now. Drain that swamp away from the past to now. Corruption flows. Only one can fix it. Only one man knows.
This was about a week ago, this drop.
From the past to now. Corruption flows.
Assassination.
Only one can fix it. Only one man knows. Stand tall. There's a call.
So I do want to cut that short because I've played that before for you and I want to go to something else. So I want to go to the next one, but you see the theme is Trump, right? And here is 47. Here's the image that we showed the other day. And so again, the rabbit, we went into this a little bit. So sometimes they'll have songs and they'll have images, and this was kind of an odd, kind of like a 220 kind of vibe going on here with the with this. And we actually, I don't know if we went down that, but I'll take you down that this time as well. So let me take you to the second part of this, which is very important, and that is, and by the way, oh, nope, I wanted to play this for you first. No, I did. Okay. So, by the way, 35 and 47. 47 is obviously Donald John Trump's, next presidency, if you will. And 35 was JFK.
Time to wake up, no more fails, rise and shine.
Okay. So not only are we on Ingersoll Lockwood website, okay, not only are we listening to a song that's going to say Ingersoll, right, but we're also Biden in Austin today. I didn't go see the speech today in Austin, even though I'm close, because I had to do dishes. So at any rate, he mentions Ingersoll, a teacher of his, and here's this song, which again, folks, was dropped today, the exact day that he dropped the information about his teacher, Ingersoll. So listen up.
Old Ingersoll, you had a tale. Time to wake up, no more fail. Rise and shine, it's time to change. In a world so wild and strange, on 47 looking glass sees the future, sees the past. Evil cabal to be wiped out. Hear the people, hear them shout. Awake, awake, the time is now. Swing and jive will show you how. Ingersoll, he set the stage. Time to turn a brand new page. Looking glass, eyes so keen, truths revealed on the world's big screen. No more shadows, no more lies. In the light, the dark despise. Ragtime rhythm, feeling sweet. Tap your feet to this old beat. We'll defeat the great reset. Victory we'll never forget. Awake, awake, the time is now. Swing and jive will show you how. Ingersoll, he set the stage. Time to turn a brand new page. Awake, the time is now. Swing and jive will show you how. Ingersoll, he set the stage. Time to turn a brand new page.
Looking glass with eyes so keen, truths revealed on the world's big screen. No more shadows, no more lies. In the light, the dark despise. Ragtime rhythm feeling sweet. Tap your feet to this old beat. We'll defeat the great reset. Victory we'll never forget. Awake, awake, the time is now. Swing and jive will show you how. Ingersoll, he set the stage. Time to turn a brand new page.
Well, there you have it. Ingersoll, time to turn a brand new page. President Biden delivering those remarks in Austin today about Ingersoll, his professor of all his professors, of all the schools, of all the gin joints that he's been to. Okay. He has to bring Ingersoll, and Ingersoll drops this, excuse me, drops this today with that song. Ingersoll doesn't really, I think that's the first song that Ingersoll actually mentions Ingersoll. It's mostly Trump. It's Junior, by the way. A lot of JFK Jr. Well, we think it's JFK Jr. But many of the songs that I've played for you over the past couple weeks, yeah, has that kind of old style, right? That old 20s, right? So, excuse me. So this is very interesting how this is all coming together, right? Thank you, Nisi. Isn't that amazing, right? This was Dr. Ingersoll. He passed in 20. I just had it up. 2015, I believe, is when he passed. So they also mention Looking Glass in there, folks, right? They mention Looking Glass. Well, just so you know, let me tell you a little bit more about Operation Looking Glass, okay? I go to WikiLeaks for the easy stuff, right? Like just the dates and the things that they can't lie about. Well, this one they could probably lie about, but it's going to give you some basic information, and the really strong information goes to the next level. So, Operation Looking Glass, excuse me, is a historic code name for an airborne command and control center operated by the U.S. In more recent years, has been more officially referred to as ABNCP. It's the command post. It's the comes from the aircraft's ability to mirror the command and control functions of the underground command post at SAC headquarters in Nebraska. It was initiated in 1960. It's a continuous airborne alert starting February 3rd, 1961 from the 34th Air Refueling Squadron. And it mirrors ground-based command and communications, but it's designed to help ensure continuity and reconstitution of the U.S. government. This is the different looking glass. This is kind of the what we're going to tell you looking glass is, okay? But in actuality, looking glass, the looking glass, and is also mentioned in Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass of Alice in Wonderland. And the reason why Bloody Wonderland is mentioned in Saudi Arabia and the Alice in Wonderland references is because Lewis Carroll was a pedophile who had sexual relationships with Alice Liddell. Supposedly there's a connection to the Bidens through Liddell. I haven't found that yet, but I have heard that. So that there's some connection there as well. But the looking glass is actually seen into the future. And what they have, it's a technology that allows them to see what's going to happen into the future. And so the fact that Ingersoll is mentioned, the fact that the looking glass is mentioned, the fact that Biden mentions this professor, it's not by accident, folks. Okay. I think I tried looking. Let me see. Project. Yeah, I think you're right. Project Looking Glass will give me a little bit better. No. Here we go. Okay, here it is. It's a CIA's project about time travel and so forth, but not a lot of information readily at my fingertips, but we've talked about it quite a bit. And another device, Yellow Cube, that we've talked about as well on this program, that whether they have the looking glass or the Yellow Cube, something is obviously there that they're using because of the way they can look into the future and see the things that happen. Yellow Cube was used by global leaders to look into the future. In return for favors, the CIA handed the cube around from country to country, allowing elites to see into their own potential futures so they could gain an advantage. The elites discovered that the future isn't set in stone. Instead, it's a vast field of probabilities. Now, this is very important. We've spoken at this. I've spoken at this at length. It's a vast field of probabilities, the results of which are determined by present actions. So they did what anyone else would do in their situation. They attempted to use this knowledge to manipulate the timeline in their favor. Over time, because of what they were up to, a new timeline presented itself, and it was not a good one. They saw a future where the entire planet was destroyed, and their use of the Yellow Cube was to blame. So just like that, they shelved the Yellow Cube and folded Project Looking Glass, just like that, seriously. For the record, Burish isn't the only one to have made such claims about time devices in the hands of the elites. This is a U.S. intelligence operative, Burish, what's his name? Microbiologist Dan Burish. Claimed he worked for a secret organization formed by President Harry Truman. They called it Majestic 12. We've all heard of that. So Italian Benedictine monk Pellegrino Ernetti claimed that the Vatican owned a chronovisor, which allowed them to view historical events such as Cicero's speeches, Napoleon's raids, and the crucifixion of Jesus. Now, so far, this sounds pretty unbelievable. CIA does have its hands a way to, with fairly astonishing accuracy, predict the future. In the past, it's been used to predict oil shocks, geopolitical conflicts, central bank policies, etc. Jim Rickards, who's involved, played a part in its creation. I don't know about that connection, but Jim Rickards has had some predictions about the market, but he's also had some failed predictions about the market as well. So, this is the reason I bring this up is because the song brings up Project Looking Glass. Joe Biden mentions Ingersoll today. It's just uncanny, my friends. The amount of connections we have here. So let me take you to the time to that number in the address bar of that picture of the bunny, and that takes us to. Let me do this. Takes us to drop 3547. Remember, again, JFK 35, Trump 47. It takes us to this drop, July 29th, which is today's date. Do you think Ingersoll was sending us into the drops here? I think so. Welcome to Guantanamo. Where we go one, we go all. Blowing up this picture. Q Research, Bread, number 8672, June 18, 2018. Q Research, Bread, 8672, 18 June 2018. So I'll check that out. But who are these guys hiding their faces? And why would they hide their faces? We have Where We Go One shirts, United States of America, 45, which is Trump's first presidency. Where We Go One, We Go All, 1776 to 2018. Okay. And then here's just flat out Q. All right. Taking you back to the drop. Where We Go One, We Go All, Q. Praying for POTUS, Q team, and all patriots. God wins. That's an anon. This is Q. This is an anon. And then Q posts, America is back. And a picture of Trump. Okay. Right there. All right. Very, very significant. Also, the fact that it took us to July 29th, and these are all the posts from July 29th, where there's two of these. This was a repost, right? 3, 4 of these. Okay. We now have plenty of space. Italy is with POTUS. Attempts by Dems to prevent disclosure of Five Eye material regarding Nunes non-official ways was denied. They are powerless. Enjoy the show. Q has told us that they have it all. Trump has said we've caught them all. Q has given us many opportunities to see that the Q team is in possession of Five Eye material. The Five Eye material are basically all of the other countries spying on us and sharing that information with the U.S. Okay. Also, what came up today, 3537. Thanks for confirming. Coates bad. That was Trump's former DNI. Ratcliffe good. So he went from Coates bad to Ratcliffe good. Sleepers present problems regarding staff fills. More coming. More coming, question mark. One of the Anons says Ray is a sleeper. That's Ray, the head of the FBI right now, who just basically said that we don't know what hit Trump, whether it was shrapnel or glass or what have you, making the mainstream almost question the assassination attempt, only to come back even stronger. Okay. Q says future marker. Sleepers present problems, more coming, and that was right before that one. Okay. So just, we can dig into this a little bit more, but let me mentions Michael Avenatti. Start the clock. Okay, this is one of the drops here. Okay, this week promises to be very interesting. Might want to follow my Insta handle, Michael J. Avenatti. I think he's in prison now. Start the clock. A week to remember. Remember that. A week to remember was July 14th, the day after the assassination attempt. The assassination was on the eve of the A Week to Remember drop, and look at the week that happened. He went on to choose J.D. Vance as his vice president. Joe Biden, there's talk of him stepping out of the race. He finally does step out of the race. Kamala Harris gets on the phone, gets some money coming in, and she steps into his place. Oh my gosh, what else happened that week? It was a crazy, crazy week, right? And so that was a week to remember. Q is saying here again, start the clock, a week to remember. Think logically. First private, classification 5, 6, second public, Blackwater on guard, evidence kills. These people are stupid. We were at Blackwater a while back. We were at Eric Prince was in the news. And let me see the news on Eric Prince. He was the Blackwater founder. He said Trump may only be alive due to the shooter's bad wind instrument, Blackwater founder says. So he was just talking. He was just being interviewed about that. And why did they let Trump go on stage, et cetera, et cetera. So, but he was also in the news recently for possible pick of Trump to lead possibly a department. So, at any rate, Slow Country just called me today. I think he's fine. He's just been busy, but I didn't have a chance to talk to him. Okay. Oh yeah. The Cheadle. Thank you, Nisi. The Cheadle Secret Service hearing was, oh my God, that was that week, right? Another week to remember. Crazy. So, so let me go back to hold on 1 second. Close some of these stuff. So we're taken right to this this day of the 29th of July, which is clearly we were being sent there. And then excuse me. Let me see here. So these are the comms from that we're getting, pretty consistently. Just seeing. Oh, well, what's also significant here, folks, is that this was also one of the first assassination attempts that we were made aware of. And this was a rocket that was sent up to hit Air Force One when Trump was on it. They were basically taking him out, trying to take him out back then. Okay. And Q tells us about that. Okay. Let's see. I recommend you go through these deltas. They're pretty, badass. A lot of them. A lot of times you're going to find. Here's one. They do not want you asking questions. They do not want you thinking for yourself. They do not want you united. They want you to live in fear, divided. They want you asleep. They want you blind. The message must bypass the MSM. That's what I'm doing here. Okay. It is the only way. People united hold the power. Think election 2016. Power shall be returned to the people. Every CIA Mossad tactic of infiltration and internal disruption is being deployed on this board, Central Hub. The world is here. Recognize. The movement is bigger than anyone can possibly imagine. Peace through strength. All right. You with me? Here we go. Buckle up. That was regarding Avenatti. And by the way, that was regarding Pizzagate, QAnon Pizzagate conspiracy theories about how, you know, people were making money off of that. Yeah. So I want to shift gears from these drops and the tweets, and I want to go to what's happening right now in Venezuela. Wow. This is, it's pretty powerful what's happening. The military, there's been a shift here. And the military is now greeting the protesters instead of, you know, they're not like fighting them. They've actually, I've seen them take off their uniforms. I've seen supposedly somebody said they're handing them guns, their guns. I don't know if that's happening, but here we go. Let me get to.
Pueblo decida y ponga y quita a que tenga que poner y que tenga que quitar. No tengo más nada que decirle. Este es un llamado de una advertencia. No quiero violencia, no quiero generar homicidio, no quiero generar muerte, no somos generadores de muerte. Si no se atrincheran en los comandos, vamos a usar todo lo que tenemos.
He's saying, my advice is to listen to the people, entrench themselves in their commands, and let the people decide and appoint and remove whoever they want. These people are legit. They're not going to allow their country to be stolen from them. Okay. And one of the things that I was wondering earlier was, is there any truth to the story that that Maduro got 81 million votes? Because boy, oh boy, does this stink to high heavens. And it's the only difference if between this and what we experienced is that this is in a different country, a different language, and the military is out in the streets in full force. But now it looks like the military is actually waving and welcoming them. And all that needs to happen is the military needs to get on the side of the people, and Maduro will be taken out. Okay. And so that is very much, I believe, a reality, and it has to happen. Okay. In order for us to truly, you know, for the people of Venezuela to truly be free. It's very, very, very important. And I believe that this is, you know, what we're seeing is, you know, very, and I'm pulling up into the matrix. Venezuelan timeline: 1992 became the third richest country in the hemisphere. It was a very rich country because they were producing mass amounts of oil. They have, besides Canada, they have the second largest oil sand reserve in the world at something like 700 million barrels of oil sand. They also have liquid oil. 1997 became second largest purchaser of F-150, the trucks. 2001 voted for socialist president, income inequality. 2004, private healthcare is completely socialized. 2007, all higher education becomes free. 2009, socialists banned private ownership of guns. That's key. If they had their guns right now, it would be a very different story. 2012, Bernie Sanders praises their American dream. 2014, opposition leaders are imprisoned. Food, healthcare shortages become widespread. Constitution and elections are suspended. 2019, unarmed citizens massacred by own government. It took only one generation of progressive leadership to plunge this country into civil war, and that's exactly where we're headed with this particular country, and with the absolute brainwashing of our young ones to believe that socialism is a good thing. It is not a good thing, my friends. It is not a good thing. Okay. Jerry Nelson, buy a shitload of Venezuelan currency. It's the most devalued currency, and when it catches up, it'll make you rich. Hey, Dave, love you, man. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you. I love you too, man. And listen, I can't make any recommendations on something like that, especially with the how volatile it is. But I wouldn't say it's not going to happen. That's for sure, right? Let's see. Do you think the blackout at the Olympics in France was used to take out bad actors or just a distraction? That's a great question. I want to get into the Olympics a little bit, but not too much. Hawks, the show I did on both, I think, Hawks Facebook and Hawks Mustard Seeds 25 on YouTube the other night was taken down because I shared footage of the opening ceremonies, which has never been a problem before, by the way. And then it was very much they've never done that before. Like, they've never not allowed us to show stuff like that, really. But this was a different story. They wiped it from the internet because they mocked Christianity. They mocked the Last Supper. Some people think that no, they didn't mock the Last Supper. They actually, it was the Feast of Dionysus. Well, when you look at the actual drop, the tweet from the young lady, the heavyset woman that was in the position of Christ, this is breaking, my friends, right here. This is this is on Matt Wallace. Here, let me share this with you. This looks like it's pretty much in real time here. The portrait from Maduro, and it certainly looks like that's what they're attempting to do. So they breached the barricade. So this is in real time. Folks, this is going down as we speak. That's very very impressive to see what's happening with the with this whole thing. Um, let's see. I wanted to get you to this particular post, which I think oh wow. Shadow of Ezra shared a post on the Venezuela, and I shared it, and it's this post is unavailable. So they're taking down some of this stuff. I wonder what they're taking down. And this was interesting. I shared this. This was Dan Scavino posted Theodore Roosevelt's speech known as "The Man in the Arena," which I have up on my wall in the home that was given to me by friends for my 30th birthday. The Man in the Arena, 71 weeks to the day after Entheos posted this speech. Entheos posted the Man in the Arena speech. 71 mirror equals 17. And so very interesting that 71 weeks, because we've just went through something very similar to this. So again, how many coincidences before mathematically impossible? The videos of Trump fight, the searches we know are being doctored. They're being controlled. They're getting rid of that iconic photo. They did a fact check on it. They said it was not, that it was doctored, but that was the one with them smiling that they're talking about. This video they're trying to get rid of. They're trying to basically brainwash the population into not allowing this anymore to happen. For example, Ronald Reagan assassination attempt shows up when you say Ronald Reagan assassination or Ronald Reagan ass, right? And then when you do the same thing with Donald Trump, it doesn't fill it in. And this is across all the. I showed this the other night. Ronald Reagan assassination attempt. It gives you all these options, okay, and that's from Greg. Let's see. Just Elon Musk. When he's posting something like the Biden-Harris administration is importing vast numbers of voters, when he does something like this, and it shows American births is in blue, the orange is the illegal aliens coming into the country. Okay. And there's been more illegal aliens coming into the country than actual births of Americans. And I retweeted this and I said, when you realize all this is by design, you begin to look at things differently. Okay. I reposted Rothman's daily reminder: the aliens and they live are less evil than our current overlords, because they actually wanted us to marry and reproduce. And if you look at the Olympics, you understand that that's the last thing that the elite want us to do. They would rather us be gender confused. They would rather us be gay or transvestite. Let's see. Okay. I want to read this. This is from Clint Russell. This is what I was getting to earlier. Then I'll get back to a few things here. So here's the story. The media spends years refusing to cover Trump's speaking events. They cut away mid-speech and describe it as protecting their viewers from misinformation. Then suddenly there's a Trump event that gets covered by the major news outlets. Coincidentally, he is shot at 8 times and miraculously survives. Worse, he responds to the attacks in legendary fashion and pumps his fist as blood streams down his face. Probably the most incredible political photo in modern American history gets taken. Does the media run it 24/7 for months like they would have had an attack on Biden or Obama occurred? No. They bury it. Is there a years-long national dialogue about political violence and the dangers of the radical left? No, zero. In 14 days, the story is wiped from the headlines. Google suppresses all searches. Newspapers don't run the photo, stating openly that it makes him look too heroic. In just 2 weeks, it is like it never happened. So what can we conclude? Well, for one, the entire corporate media sphere works directly for the federal government. And by federal government, I mean the Democrats or the establishment or the intel community. Take your pick, but you already knew that. The conclusion or oddity that I can't get past. You had a media blackout on Trump ever since J6. You've basically gone back to the blackout protocol over the past 2 weeks. So why, how, etc.? Did you, the corporate news, decide to cover this one particular Trump event where he just so happened to come 1 inch from death? Inquiring minds would like to know. Yes, we would. But I kind of wanted to give you that overall picture, and I thought that was well articulated by Clint Russell. Thank you for that. And let's see. And they're also checking that, like I said earlier, they're doing, they're flagging this as misinformation. This photo, this iconic, amazing photo. It's just unbelievable, folks. And so look at how many are being exposed. Look at who's being exposed through all this, right? Also, is it Crooks or is it Urich? Because I was going with Urich early on, and then all of a sudden they changed everything to Crooks without any real evidence that they were showing us. That's for damn sure. So let me take you back. Take you back. Take you back. Well, I've been told by some people, and they all say to take me back. Take me back like before. Remember that from Rocky? Is that any? That was fantastic. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Libs of TikTok. JD Vance is weird. Ooh, yeah. Damn. See, this is what they want, because these people, you know what they don't do? They don't reproduce. And they want to get rid of humanity. So all of this, when you understand that all of this is population control, it becomes very clear why it's so important to them. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is from, okay. I want to show a couple of these. This is, thank you, Shibby, for sharing these. I want to share this with you, a couple of drops. And by the way, guys, if you send me stuff, a lot of times I'll use it because this is crowdsourcing the truth here. Police removing their uniforms and quitting after riots have broken out in Venezuela over sham election. Look at them taking off their uniforms. Okay. Do you think they're sending a message here? remember, these people, they all have to go home at night. They all have to, all have a family back home. Okay. And let me show you. Oh, by the way, I'll give you an example. Okay. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Remember when I showed you Musk clapping for Netanyahu? Buryaski, I don't know who this is. Spineless Elon Musk, spineless, joining AIPAC paid members of Congress, applauds for war criminal Netanyahu, resembling the support for North Korean leader. He was such a bullshit to claim he was standing up for the truth and preventing the collapse of humanity when making the Twitter deal. Do you remember what I showed you with his clap? It was not a normal clap at all. He clapped once and then he clapped 6 times. Okay. So what did I do? I took you to drop 16. And drop 16 says, get the popcorn. Friday and Saturday will deliver on the MAGA promise. POTUS knows he must clean house government in order to free up and demonstrate who has authority in order to pass important legislation. This was always the priority. Remember, AG Sessions cannot look like an impartial player that is out to get all former Obama team members, as we need him for other important work. All will come into focus, and for anyone to think POTUS is not in control is kidding themselves. Also, he's 100% insulated with zero risk of impeachment. Fact. Also, zero risk of assassination is, pretty clear. Well, depends on what you think about the shooting. But I told you that Musk was sending us to this drop because that was a very odd clap, the way he did it, and it was not, in my opinion, by accident. Okay. So it really depends on how you're looking at things. And when you look at things, I mean, just watch again. I'll show it to you again. This is not a great copy. Not as good as the one I showed the other night, but let me show you. And here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was his applause for Netanyahu. Do you think he's spineless there? Do you think he's not on the side of Trump and Q? I would say think again, because it's a very, very different way to look at things when you start peeling away at things. So just a couple images from Maduro. I want to actually bring these over to here. This is protesters knocking down statues of Maduro, which is very, very intriguing. Hold on. I don't know why that's not going big for me. Do you think Maduro is going to be able to lead these people? No way. People are done. They're done. They're over. Imagine if you're Maduro and you're watching this from the palace. Okay. And Maduro has some problems with Musk too, because Musk is also given his, I believe he's given his people internet. Okay. And also providing them free speech on X. So he's definitely given Musk some shit about what's going on. Um, so, Venezuela, folks, is real. The shit's going down. It's unbelievable what's happening there, and it's very exciting because we need to wake up to the corruption that not just that is not just present in our country, but present in other countries. And we've already said we're a third world country, because we're letting third world people. This is Elon Musk retweeting this, saying that if the people go against the euro, it's over for the euro. Yeah, if this show speaks to you, folks, please share it out to your friends. Thank you, Shibby, for those drops that you messaged me. And my friends, this is very, very much an awakening for our elections, because as we're seeing these things pop up in these other countries, okay, we're going to see more scrutiny based on our elections that we have. Okay. So, my friends, I welcome you to do some of your own homework. I do need to
from the evil
keep
tyrants
this,
that wish to do
short
us harm
tonight,
and
as I
destroy the
mentioned.
last remaining
Hold on
refuge
one
of
sec.
shining.
Okay. I think I was just sharing. I was just looking up a rubber duck post here. 47 USC section 606. U.S. code that deals with the war powers of the president. It provides the president with the authority to suspend or amend for a limited time the rules and regulations applicable to certain communication stations or devices in the interest of national security or defense during a state of war or other national emergency. Donald Trump declared a national emergency on March 13th, 2020, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The declaration was made under the National Emergencies Act, which allows the president to declare a national emergency in response to a threat to the nation. This declaration gave the federal government additional powers to respond to the pandemic, including the ability to waive certain regulations and allocate additional funds for the response. That declaration by Trump on March 13th, 2020 is still in effect today. Sleep tight, enjoy the show. And then Rubber Duck shares Q Clarence Patriot, which we've been to multiple times with you.
Over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta. Actionable 11.4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the Emergency Broadcast System, EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news, to all citizens. Organizations and/or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations, at home and abroad.
I've read this to you many, many times over the years. Very, very powerful. And we've also seen from Donald Trump from this weekend, from just yesterday, we saw what appeared to be an emergency broadcast system. And I'll take you to that here in a second. I think I have you here. Yeah, okay. He retweets a lot of Mark Levin. Not a fan of Levin because of his stance on Israel. But my friends, this is what's important to know about that is that I've said this before, that Donald Trump is acting like he's saving Israel for last. And that's what Q told us about Israel. And that's what Q told us about, that they're saving Israel for last. And there's a reason why not mentioned here once. And what we're seeing here is, why am I having such a tough time finding this? Is it that far back? Here it is. Okay. Let me play this for you. I really do believe that what's going to happen here with Israel is going to be very significant. This is what kind of showed up as the possible EBS. And this was 2 days ago. It was on Saturday.
Warning. The following may upset liberals who don't want voters to know the truth about Kamala Harris.
If you ever wondered how Joe Biden could get the border so screwed up, remember, he had help. Here's Biden appointing Kamala Harris to be his border czar to deal with illegal immigration. And here are a record number of illegal immigrants, 10 million and counting, flooding over the border after Harris was put in charge of stopping illegal immigration. To be fair, Harris got off to a rough start by ignoring the border.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
Harris was liberal on illegal immigration before she ever reached the White House. As a prosecutor in San Francisco, Harris allowed illegal immigrant drug dealers to enter job training and have their criminal records wiped clean. One of the illegal immigrants Harris released went on to steal an SUV and ran down a young woman, seriously injuring her. And, of course, Harris backs sanctuary city laws that harbor illegal immigrants, even criminals. She even backs taxpayer-funded health care for illegals, record illegal immigration, special treatment for illegals, taxpayer-paid benefits. And Harris still doesn't get it.
I've been working on this issue for a very long time.
That's the truth about Kamala Harris. She's dangerously liberal on illegal immigration.
So interesting that came across as kind of an EBS at first, right? And we're waiting for Trump's EBS. But what we're also waiting for, and I wanted to share this with you as well, is we're waiting for a financial reset, but not the reset that the WEF wants. We want the revaluation of currency. And what you see here on the debt clock is the old Fed money, unsecured perpetual debt, interest creation, unlimited, unaudited wealth extraction, secret leveraged counterfeit derivatives owned by the banks. The medium of exchange is the coins and currency. Unlimited supply, unit of measure. They keep increasing the money supply. The store of value, designed to lose value. Physical existence, taxed heavily. Right of issuance, private, secret, unaudited. Counterfeit derivatives, leverage manipulation, corruption, wealth transfer, fraud, debt, interest, percent, Ponzi scheme, unpayable. A lot of word salad there of the different structure of the financial system. But the thing to remember here is that it's the interest on the debt is unpayable. But we would have known that from day one. They knew that from day one. They knew that it would put us in perpetual debt. There's no question about that. Okay. No question about that. And then you've got the new USA money. Okay. Asset-backed wealth preservation, limited supply, gains value over time, transparent, verifiable, real assets. You've got a store of value and you've got a unit of measure. Now, the unit of measure, is it Bitcoin? Is it XRP? Is it actual coinage and dollars? Store of value is the backing of it. 100% owned by we the people. The U.S. Treasury certificate. There's JFK on the front, which matches with what we're hearing about Ingersoll Lockwood and Junior and all that. Debt-free currency payable to the bearer on demand. Lawful money sample. John F. Kennedy right here. And that's $100. Now, underneath is some of the things that will support that. Copper, gold, silver, copper. Some of these I'm not going to get right away. I've been down this road before. We've got, I don't know what that is. We've got oil. We've got AI. We've got robots. We've got Wall Street. We've got commodities, corn. We've got real estate. We've got manufacturing. And then this last one is thorium, which we've gone into on this show before. Thorium is a very valuable metal that will be used, what we believe, for the new energy coming forward. Okay, so this is the USA Department of the Treasury, 1776. Remember, the Treasury is a U.S. It's a U.S. government-owned entity that you and I own as we the people. It is not the private Federal Reserve, which is a Delaware corporation, right? So I just wanted to share that with you because that's another thing that we're waiting for. Okay, so let me see some of your comments. Any questions before I wanted to keep this kind of short and sweet and wrap it up tonight. We are, let me see. And also I want to make it shareable and so that people can see some of the stuff that we're doing here. And so that maybe they'll join us next time. But let me get to your comments here. And also, let me see. Yes, we have it all. Musk is back to the Baphomet costume. Exactly. Yeah. Anna, how are you? Good to see you. It's been a minute. Where you been all my life? Let's see. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate that. Folks, if you want to support this Truthcast, I welcome you to do so. This is definitely something that we need to support the people that are providing us the kind of information that we need in this fight. So I welcome you to do so. I want to actually say thank you to Sophia Sanders. Thank you so much for your donation. And let's see. I have one other place. So I want to go back to your comments here. Let's see. Okay. Touch on the fires, please. Yeah, what's going on, Cindy, with the fires in Canada right now? What's the latest? Oh, and I did want to show just let me see, just a they're still calling it let's see. Okay, here's Adam Platform. Let me share this. The smoke from the Canada fires reached Europe, destroyed many towns, and affected the Jasper National Park. The video of Copernicus Sentinel-5 Colorado total column maps on July 23rd, 24th, 25th shows the smoke plume progressively moving eastward. Think about this smoke having reached Europe, how huge that is. Wow. To Long Island to see this. This is what it looks like in Long Island from these Canada fires. Is that accurate? Holy cow. How convenient that all these wildfires occurred in the very locations of the upcoming smart cities. This goes back to Maui. It goes back to Paradise, California. Yeah. July 25th. This is kind of dated. And Manhattan, look at the, this is all coming. This is Manhattan right here. This is what Manhattan looks like from the Canadian wildfires. Over 45 million acres. Now this is December 8th. This was back in the day. Why is it giving me stuff from way back when? By the way, I'll look for some more. In the meantime, check out
What was
a brief interview with Trump.
Melania's reaction, if you don't mind my asking? I know this is very personal. When she learned about what happened on that field in Butler,
she was watching.
Oh, she was watching in real time?
She was watching live. It was all over the place. It was on television. It was on your network, but it was all over the place. And she was watching. I asked her that. I mean, I wasn't there. I was on the ground. And when the world started to, like, you could talk to people, I said, so what was your feeling? And she was, she can't really even talk about it.
Traumatized.
Which is okay, because that means she likes me.
She
loves me.
That's good.
I mean, let's say she could talk about it freely. That wouldn't be, I'm not so sure which is better. But she either likes or loves me, and that's nice. But I will say this, look, she was, when I went down, she thought the worst had happened, because I went down. And I grabbed my, and I saw it was, my hand was loaded up with blood. You see it in slow motion, instant replay. You know, we had hundreds of press there. So this was covered live. They would have had instant replay and everything else, which they already do in this. But supposing the worst happened, you know, one man, Corey, was killed, hit horribly,
amazing man,
horribly in the head. And, you know, to guard it, he was guarding his family.
That's why how important it is to get to the bottom of why this was allowed to occur. I mean, he died.
Interesting there. I'm hearing some, he died. you know, like they have to convince us of that. And also, the Trump's speaking to all of the news that was there live, covering it live. They're pointing us to the obviousness of this, that they would have captured it in slow motion. They would have captured it all. And it would have been the end of Trump. It would have been the end of everything. Folks, we have 1,500 across multiple platforms, including coming up on 1,000 on Rumble. So welcome one and all. I'm going to keep this short, but I would invite you all that if you came in late, just go back on X or go back on Rumble or YouTube or wherever and go back to the beginning and just, you know, you can skip through me saying hi to everybody if you want to do that. Go in about 10 minutes and tell me if I'm not dropping some heat there with what's happening in the world. Because I'm going to keep this short enough that you'll have time to do that. And I ask you to do that. And I also ask you to, if you haven't already, let me take you to, you know, my channel on you can do it either one here. Okay. But this was an interview that I did with the maestro from the Netherlands, interviews David Snedeker. And this was a very good interview. Many people have responded very favorably. Only, let me see, only 3,500 have seen it on my Rumble channel. Let me see. I thought you were there with me. I'm sorry. Only 3,500 have seen it on my Rumble channel, so I welcome you to check that out. And also, it's on BitChute. Why is this not sharing? I've done this multiple times. So this is my interview with Stephen. This is Stephen here. This is my odd recording of going back and forth, whereas his on BitChute, it's he and I together. Again, some really important things that I shared with him and his audience over there that he's getting great feedback from because they hadn't seen that, some of the things that I did and shared with them. And I think many of you haven't as well. So I invite you to check that out. That was on Saturday. I posted it on Sunday. And let me also send you to this potential location. And that is BitChute right here. Sorry. And that's this right here. As a matter of fact, you know what I might do?
It's Saturday, the 27th of July, and it's a great pleasure to welcome back my next guest. Today I'm joined by, once again, David Snedeker, host of the Indoctrination, a live broadcast available on several social platforms. Dave has produced more than 1,100 live broadcasts and over 5,000 hours of content viewed by hundreds of thousands all over the world. The Indoctrination format includes Dave's opening monologue, video and audio
also
clips,
dropping the
viewer
Rumble
questions, call-in guests, and especially very huge deep dives into the Q Intel board and simply
So we had a really, really wonderful conversation. And I'll tell you what's great about Stephen and the work he does is he knows a lot of the stuff we talk about, and he could do some deep dives on that. But he gives me space to kind of tell my story and go in my direction. And it really turned out to be, I think, quite special, that interview. So I welcome you to check that out. I don't think we'll see an election. I don't either, folks. Nisi, I saw your comment. I lost it, but let's see. That was a very good interview, Dave. See what Dave looks like without a hat. I often don't wear a hat. You got to watch more shows, Barb. Come on now. I wear a hat when, maybe I didn't necessarily wash the hair that day, right? Let's see. I saw this very good interview. Thank you, T. Johnson. You look good that night. Thank you, D. Let's see. Oh, hold on. New York Debs, Lake Elsinore, Chico, and Sacramento, California on fire. Oh, is that the fires you wanted me to check out? Interesting, because I have not seen that. And I was just looking at the fires in Jasper National Park in Canada. I was just looking at that. My dog is named Jasper. Could burn for months, Canadian official says. This is tragic. This was just this weekend, and they're saying it could burn for months in Jasper National Park. Wow. Crazy stuff going on. And here, park fire in California grows to 3,500 acres. How did I miss this? Holy cow. The largest active blaze in the United States. Oh, that's in New York Times. I stay away from New York Times. Had a wonderful weekend, my friends, and despite doing that work with Steven on Saturday, and certainly doing some homework on some other stuff, I pretty much was able to unhook. Near Chico in Butte County. Let me see here. And this is just north of Sacramento, between Sacramento and Redding. And this is a major fire. It says it's 14% contained. The Park fire, the Nixon fire, is 0% contained. Park fire started July 24th. Acres burned 373,357. Wait a minute. Let me make sure that you're with me here. There you go. And the Nixon fire just started yesterday or today. Acres burned 2,700, containment 0. Yeah, here's another one, July 13th. Here's another one, July 23rd. But this park fire is significant. Okay, well, thanks for the heads up on that, guys. I was honestly out of the loop on that. Really been taking care of some other stuff, right? So let me see what else you guys got. And Renz, I watched that last night. It was very good, and he's very clued up too. Yes, Stephen is very good. And by the way, look for us maybe later this week. Stephen and Hawk and I are going to do a show. I talked to Hawk last night, and Stephen requested as well. Stephen likes Hawk a lot, and vice versa. So we're going to do a show later this week. Okay. Let me see. The name on BitChute is the Maestro. It's called Stephen's Real Corner. Let me just show you guys that. Let's see. And by the way, I recommend this interview. It's 2 hours long, but I highly recommend it. And you're going to see some new stuff you haven't seen. And this is what it looks like. Stephen's real news corner. He calls himself the Maestro because that's what he was called for most of his life, because he is literally a maestro. And he is a very talented musician and a clarinet player, but he was the conductor and very talented. Jen, I like Stephen. Yeah, he's a good man, really good man. So check that out. Wanted to hear what you thought about the Yellowstone eruption. Sonia, thank you for that. So, immediately when I saw the Yellowstone eruption, I thought, well, maybe something's coming with the big caldera, right? Because if the big one blows, Western America is devastated. Many deaths. The Deagle, how the Deagle lowers U.S. Population by I think it was over 60%. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Deagle website. Let me see. I think they took that down, the Deagle. If you guys have that, send that to me if you will. But I think they were down, they had the US population down 60%. The explosion at Yellowstone could do that by itself. And the link for this interview shared on the Indoctrination Telegram didn't work. Okay. That's good to know. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. Why didn't that work? I went to the BitChute. You're right. It says page not found. Okay, that's really, really helpful. Mamoran, thank you. I've got to drop another thing there. Okay, thank you for that. And so, but what I found in my research was that that was a natural occurrence, and that does happen quite often. That kind of eruption. So it wasn't out of the ordinary, and that's what I was looking for. Whenever I look at something like that, I look for out of the ordinary, and that was not. Wing Pearl. There was also an earthquake in San Antonio. Or is in Red Sea? Oh, Saudi Arabia in Red Sea, 4.7 magnitude. Yeah, a lot of earthquakes around the world are pretty consistent. So I'm not over, worried about that. You're welcome. Thank you for the question, Sonia. Dave, grow that hair. It will change your life. Plus sun gazing and grounding. It works. Jerry, thank you for that, brother. I sun gaze in the morning, most mornings, not every morning. And I ground at least 5 times a week, if not more. Just walk barefoot and I try to do it every day. And then the hair's growing, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, Meta owns BitChute now, Hawk. You were the one that told me about that initially, and that's going to go down. That's not going to be good because BitChute is a good spot, but not once it's owned by that clown. Yeah, massive amount of steam and gases that released in Yellowstone. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah. Here's the thing, folks. I don't really have an interest in living up that way because I'm concerned about Yellowstone. Because at any time we really don't know. That's the bottom line. Patricia, any thoughts on the man Maxwell Urich? Roger Stone posted 2 side-by-side photos, one alive and one not alive, of him after the event. They have since taken it down, but said yesterday that they can't find him. Okay. So just so you know, George Webb's doing some good reporting on that, but I think George Webb went down a wrong path because the Urichs that make guns, I don't believe are connected to Matthew. I may be wrong. I haven't dove into that quite yet. But if you guys have, let me know, please. But also, Uric was somebody that I expected based on what I had seen right off the bat, but then they pushed the Crooks story, and I didn't understand that. So is Matthew Uric the second shooter possibly, or was he the Crooks shooter? And with the video that I've shared with you, John Cullen is doing some great work on this. Let me pull him up. No, that's not him. Here he is. Okay. So let me show you John Cullen. He's doing some really, really good stuff here. He's pulling a lot of the stuff together. I am John Cullen. Cullen also did some great work on the Las Vegas shooting. He is fearless and he is going right at it. He goes into the audio analysis. He goes into the forensic audio analysis. Crook's body. We got a shooter in uniform. Let me show you this. Take the music off so we don't have any issues with that. But he does this kind of stuff, and he shares this kind of stuff, which I think is very valuable if you really want to get to the bottom of what happened on that night. This is why I never really bought the water tower, because the water tower would have come down at an angle that would have just really probably hurt or maybe hit maybe one or two people. Okay. This was not the video that I was looking for, actually. And then also from that angle, folks, it would not have clipped Trump's ear from the water tower. That would have went through his skull from that angle. And that's what's important to remember, is that the angle that they were coming from that I'm sorry, what happened to Cullen? Okay, let me stay with Cullen. So the fence line, the guy that got video from the fence line, okay, got video of this here, which is a flash, like a gun flash, okay? And this was during the shooting, and these videos are very clear, okay? And so this, we believe, is the shot that may have clipped his ear. And if that's the case, who was it? Okay. This isn't something that I want to get into too deeply. This is why I want you to go to the person who is doing better work on this than I, and that is John Cullen, and that is at I_am_John Cullen. Okay, tell him I sent you, because I'd love to connect with him and do an interview with him. So that's that. Let me get back to your chat. Let's see. Mary drinks beer. We had an earthquake last night in Utah, 4.5. Interesting. No man buns. No, I'm not a man bun kind of guy. Let's see. So, Patricia, thank you for asking me about Uric. I think he's going to come back into the spotlight. Let's see. Hawk says, this is a fire started due to sparks off a fire, flat tire blowout. They said they have it under 90% under control. Which one is that, Hawk? Let's see. Anti-aged at Jack Hawks mustard seeds. Indeed, I dropped it in yours for Dave as he made big reference to his page. Want me to remove? I'm not quite sure what you mean there, partner. Let me know, please. Let's see. Okay. Daniels, we just left Wyoming and went to Oklahoma instead. We're just waiting on it to blow. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. And was that the reason that you left? Yeah, BitChute will be censoring channels for sure. Roger Stone called out Europe hours after the assassination. Exactly. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Hey, buddy. Hi. You want to come up? You want to come up and say hi? Come on. Come on. You want to come up? Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, he's about ready for a walk. Thank you. I am when I go out for here he is. Here he is. I am muted. Say hello, Jasper. There he is. My little guy. All right. And just coming in to say hello. Let's see. Dory Lee, watch the video on Rumble. Jovan Pulitzer, 8 shell casing found on roof next to Crooks. It's a great body cam vid, about 25 minutes long, tons of details. I believe that Colin has that as well, but thank you for that. Let's see. Okay. Thank you. He is a good dude. He is a really, really good dude. All right, my friends. Yeah, the back is, I am feeling it. I'm going to get out and stretch and do some walking. Hawk, I hope your back is feeling better. We'll talk later. But let's shoot for a show with Steven maybe on Thursday. And we'll go over it then. And folks, thanks for being here tonight. This is, as you know, this is the Monday night show here. And if this show speaks to you, please share it out. And if you would like to support me, you may do so here. This is very important that we shift into a different space and time with the information that we're getting, the information we're seeking, and our sharing of said information. So if I'm not the person that you trust, if I'm not the person that you confide in or your go-to guy, that's fine. But if I am, I ask that you, send a tip my way. And that goes a long way towards supporting me, Jasper, the deer, and not stressing out every month about trying to support my little world here that I share with you all. So much love to you all. Thanks for being here, and I will be on tomorrow. Hopefully a little bit earlier than tonight. So look for me. Make sure your notifications are lit up. Make sure your bell notification. And we're ending here with about 2,400 of you beautiful, beautiful people. And just keep in the light, my friends. Keep sharing love and light and moments together. Tomorrow is not promised. And the reason why I think Q wants us to enjoy the show is because they know how it's going to end. And they know they don't want us to be miserable the whole time it's going. So enjoy the journey, my friends, and be well. And we'll talk soon. Again, if you're just coming in late, please go back to the beginning of this and check this out. I think you'll be very, very glad you did. All right. Much love. Hawk, thanks for hosting and sharing on this platform. And I love you. Bye-bye.